Today we have our neighbor to our department, IDS Institute of Development Studies Director, Professor Chandrashekar HM is with us. He is a director of IDS, and formerly he was the special officer to Vice Chancellor previously, and also a coordinator for net coaching in University of Mysore. And for his credentials, he has produced 6 PhD scholars, and he has published more than 100 papers, around 120 papers he has produced, and he has attended more than 150 seminars and presented papers in the international and national seminars. And he is awarded with 4 major research projects from UGC and ICSSR. And he has completed the major research projects, and he is also done the ICSSR sponsored the seminar recently, 3-4 months back, on the agriculture marketing, and which inspired us to do in our department also the same kind of national seminar sponsored by ICSSR. So we have with us today Professor Chandrashekar HM, who will be talking about the emerging trends in management and commerce education and NEP implementation. So 2 hours he will be engaging this 2 sessions, 3 hours. And he'll be coming for the paper participant seminar as well on 27th and 28th. So it is the 4-hour sessions he will be engaging with you. Welcome you to Sir RC, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Sir, for your information, we have 38 participants in this RC, 30th RC of Management and Commerce. And out of this, 10 are from Tamil Nadu, and 1 from Maharashtra, and 1 from Assam, and 26 from Karnataka, sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam, for giving me a wonderful introduction about me. Good morning.
Sir, I will not be there for the participants seminar session to introduce you. So you can just continue the participants
Okay. Don't worry,
seminar,
madam. Anyway, no need to introduce
they
because
know
today,
you already.
Today you have introduced me, no? Okay. So on that day, we will
sir.
take the session. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. The participants.
Good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Today I am going to engage 2 sessions. One is the National Education Policy 2020, and the second one is the implementation of NEP 2020 in commerce and management education. So I hope you have already gone through this and everyone is known about the NEP 2020, what is going on in India as well as Karnataka. So let us go for see, if you know the national education policy, we know the famous statement which is given by Nelson Mandela. So the destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing the cheating in the examination. Yes. So we have to accept this statement. So because if we want to destroy the nation, so if we are not giving the good education to the students or children, so that will destroy itself. So that's why, in keeping with this statement, so we have to be very careful about the framing the policies and all. Okay. And the another one, the 2 notable observation from the Supreme Court of India is that today's education failed to reform human behavior. That is the one. And with increase in the literacy level, there is a decline in human values in the society. Yes, this is we have been observing these two, and also hence there is a call for transformation in the education system. So in this, so what happened? The government, Union Cabinet, Government of India, so they approved the 2020 in July 2020 the new education policy, so which is aims to universalization of education. Universalization of education from preschool to secondary level. So even we know if we see the history of the education policies in the countries, so even in the 80s, 90s, 2000 and today, so there has been a drastic changes has been taken place in the education system. So even if we know the even enrollment ratio also, so it has been increased. So till today we need to increase the enrollment ratio. So if you know if you want to know the meaning of the education policy, so reforms to the collection of law. So it is a combination of laws and rules that governs the operation of education system. And also the policies are important because they help a school or the college to establish a rules and procedure and to create standards of quality of learning and safety, as well as expectations and accountability. Yes, of course, the education policy is that will set the rules and regulations in the country. And also, so the policy, so from the policy itself, we have to develop the discipline. So that's how the education policy is required. So without the education policy, the educational institute would lack the structure and unable to meet the needs of their students. So this is also the one of the important thing what we have to observe. So in the country, and also, so what is the role of policy in education? Is the policies are implemented because the establish rules and procedures in order to function effectively. That is the one. So the functioning of the effective of the schools or the colleges is very important. And also because why I am telling this, the school and the colleges are even the reason wise it differs. The culture will also differ, and also the procedures and their languages, particularly the languages and their cultures. So that is also differs. And also the procedure in order to function effectively and ensure everyone is connected. So we have to see that all the corners of the people, so even in from the remote area to the urban areas, so we have to see it's our responsibility to look. So whether they have connected or not, the education is provided to everyone. So whoever needs. The schools and colleges creates the standards of quality of learning and safety. So that is also as expectation and accountability is very, very important in the present context. And also the main characteristics of review or problems caused by interpretability of many educational goals, and also inconsistency of education goals. That is also one. The priority ordering of goals and weighing the educational goals and the cost of the goals. These are the very, very important features of the educational policy. Okay. Sorry. So difficulties in structuring a world-class education system in India. So if you want to build a world-class education system in the country, so these are we have many difficulties, and because India is we know we are the more than 75% of the populations are living in the rural areas, and if you see the infrastructure facilities available in that, and also there are many problems are associated with the education system, so what kind of problems we are facing. So even in the 19th century of the midst of the 20th country's process and the 21st century needs, so and what we require in the present situations in the 21st century, so what we require that, so based on that we have to concentrate. And also, so maybe for example, due to the pandemic period of the COVID-19, we know what kind of earlier we were not concentrated for the online education system, and we are afraid to give mobiles to the children's, but the situation itself imposed us to go for the online system, and also the mobiles we are giving to the school children. Though it affects on the health of the children, but there is a mandatory thing, and there is no other alternative ways to access the education facilities. So that's why we have given that. And also the shortage of qualified faculty and not well defined rules of the faculty. Yes, maybe. So the qualified faculty, we cannot say that in all the colleges and all the states or the areas we are not. But even though, so if you see the quality of the faculty, and maybe, for example, if you take example of Karnataka, so from the many past years there was no faculty recruitment, but we are running the same, and we are running the same thing, and with the help of the guest faculties and all. So we need more and more things we require. We need to provide them a more educational trainings are required, faculty development programs are to be required, and all these things will be required. And even if you see the political willingness to bring the changes, so maybe suppose if you want to bring any changes in the education system, that has to be approved by the government. So without approval of the government, we cannot go ahead. So that is also, there may be sometime there may be a chances of accepting things, and also there may be a chances to not to accept the things when we want to bring a drastic changes in the education system. And also the capturing the global talent is the one of the best important what we can say that the problem we are facing in the education system. So if you want to, there may be some disturbance. Okay, so I have one request with the participants. If you want to ask any questions or clarifications, you can ask me at the end. I will give a time for maybe 10 to 15 minutes for discussion. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So are you following me? Because continuously from one way I am giving the lecture. All the participants?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dear
Yes,
participants?
sir, it's okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
okay. Yeah,
share full
Yes,
screen,
sir.
sir. Full screen of your PPT, please.
full screen you want.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, 1 minute.
thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, please like slide show, sir.
Yeah. Trying, but it's not. Yeah, that's right. Slideshow is not here.
Sir, please enter F5, sir.
F5.
F5.
Yes, sir. Press F5, sir.
F5.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now it's okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks you. Thank you, sir.
So previously, anyone has thought about the NEP? Basics of NEP?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The first session was on that.
Most session. Maybe you think it is a repetitive?
No, we find little difference, sir. Go ahead. Sir.
Okay. No, if you find any repetition, please remind. Okay, so this is the one where we can capturing the global talent is also one, and lack of inclusive and participative culture is the one of the most, because in the beginning I told you, so many cultures, our country is made up of with many culture, and even in the state wise, if you go, different cultures will be there, and accordingly that we have to make the education system. And also the highly complex and irregular regulatory framework at the state and central, always it will be there. So maybe if you see the syllabus pattern of the state and the central, so it will be always differ, and many of the parents, so what they will do is, so they prefer only the central syllabus. They will find the public schools rather than the what we can state syllabus schools. So, and also, even though they know there is a high fee is there, but in spite of that, they will go for the public school only. The schools which are offering the what we can say that the central syllabus oriented schools. So that is one. And also, but this is also one of the difficulty what we are facing, but that we need to be unifiable. So that is the one. Yes, there may be a possibility, and if you introduce the same the syllabus for the entire country, either maybe it is a state or central, that will also be useful for the all the children. And also the government regulations may be like maybe the another important thing is PPP model. So what all our commerce and management teachers know about what is the public-private partnership models play. So even in the business, we talk about the public-private models. Even in the education system also, yes, there is a possibility to introduce the public-private partnership model. Okay, so and also there is a this is the how, because to solve all these problems we require NEP. So the vision of NEP is the one. So it is a centered education system that continues directly to transforming our nation sustainably into a equitable or the vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality of education to all. So that is the one. And also here we are talking about the sustainability. Of course, you know the meaning of sustainability. So everyone will talk about the sustainability. So and what is the sustainability? So the sustainability is that, so where we can retain the same thing for the future years also. So that is the one. So maybe, for example, if you give a good education system at the, and if you build a good what we can say that the foundation of the education system is good at the school level, yes, that will help to build the nation. So the either he or she, the child will be concentrating to develop the nation. So in that way, so maybe in the NEP, so its emphasis on the centered education system, and also it directly contributes to transforming. So maybe, of course, you know, so what is the meaning of transforming? Maybe, so whatever they learn in the education system, so that has to be practically implemented. So once that practically implemented, that will help either way. So that will help to build the nation. So that contribution of a particular child or any talented person, so will build the nation. So okay, so that is how. And also, if you see, so this is the one where the national education policy. So and also there has been a changes from 1986 to 2020. So maybe, so even in 1986 they brought the education policy. Even in there was some modification in 1992, and national education policy, national policy and education, that's the NPE. So and that that policy was mainly concentrated on access and equity. So that is the one what we can say. So availability and fairness was the main motto of the NPE. So national policy and education. So access, because why they concentrated on access of the, because if we go back to 80s, 90s, 2000 and so on. So maybe if you see the many things, okay. So in the education system of the country, so even in 80s, yes, we had so many problems associated with that. And so maybe the access of education, why? Because there was no proper access of education, because even the schools were not established in each villages. We know that system. How was the education system was there in 80s, 90s, even in 2000 also. But 2000 onwards, there was a little bit changes were we could see the changes because of the even the entire infrastructure facilities were developed. Even if you see the transportation system, yes, of course, we had many problems in transportation system, and and also infrastructures. And so maybe in the rural areas, there were no buildings for the to run these schools. So likewise, and there were no teachers in the schools in the rural areas. So that's why. So they concentrated only for access. So how best the education system will be access to the children. So in that, and also even in 2009, so they passed the Right to Education Act in 2009. Yes, because many of the studies found that there was dropouts in the school education. So and also even the most of the peoples, they were migrated from one place to another places. So they lack in sending the students to the school. So that's why they in 2009 they implemented the Education Act to Right to Education. So even now, so if you see this system in the 2020, so NEP, National Education Policy, the quality education, they concentrated for the quality education. Of course, yes, we are providing the education, or we are teaching, okay, fine. And also we have all the subjects, the major subjects we are teaching, and how best quality is given to the students, that is very important. So in this NEP 2020, they mainly concentrated for the quality. So how best, and also the another thing is the skills. So nowadays, you know, how they maybe, for example, as the fraternity of commerce and management, so how the industries are preferring our students. Yes, maybe, yes, of course, earlier we had that situation. So even in 80s, 90s, yes, we had. So once they passed in the once they get degree, they used to give the jobs. But now it is not like that, because the situation is entirely changed. So now the industry is preferring the skills. So those who are ready to work, ready to do that task, they will be preferred. So likewise, so even this is the one. So this diagram you can easily understand. NEP 2020 of that design in the and vision and framework for this is they have bifurcated to one is school education and the higher education. So even in the higher education, so if you see the highlights of this, okay, anyway, the new policy aims for universalization of education from school to secondary level, and with the 100% gross enrollment ratio, what we can call it as a GR, the gross enrollment ratio in the school level by 2030. And also it is aims to raise the GR in higher education to 50% by 2025. So this is the main vision and mission of the NEP. Okay, and also we'll bring a true core of the school children back to them in the mainstream. So that is the one. So many of them are not coming for the mainstream. So that is the another one. And this is the structure, you know. So the 10+2 structure, the curricula is to be replaced by. So that is 5+3+3+4. And also this even I will explain in the future also about this. Even you people also know about what is that 5+3+3+4 curricular structure, and also corresponding to the age of 3 to 8 and 8 to 11 and 11 to 14 and 14 to 18 years respectively. So that is one. And also it will include the 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi. So that is also the preschool education. So the pre-KG, UKG, what we call it is that will also included in this. And See, this is what you can see with the picture also easily we can understand the reinventing the school education. So the ages and also, so they will be there. And also this is the one where they will be studying at the fundamental levels. Okay, so this is the age, class 1 and 2, age of 3 years. So fundamentally they will study, and preparatory, so that will be class 3 to 5th, attaining the age of 8 to 11, and likewise middle and secondary. So this is what so they will study. So this is about the formulated and all the students will be so maybe examination system will also change. So earlier we had only so 10th and 10+2 likewise, but now so the grade system were introduced, and the examination pattern is also be changed. And also the main objective of this is to the create a world-class multidisciplinary higher education institution across the country. So that is the one, the main objective of this NEP particularly. So they are concentrating on the multidisciplinary education system. So maybe so the one subject will be linked with the another subject. Yes, of course, our commerce and management subjects are already, so it's a multidisciplinary, so that is linked with the economics and other subjects. And also, so this is the another one is to build a world-class universities to across a high global rankings. That's you know, if we talk about the global ranking system of our university systems. So yes, even in the college level also, so many of them are, you know, the participants are from college and universities. You know how the NAC accreditation will be done. So everyone we involved in that process, and academically the whichever who are the college is stronger in publications, teaching methods and all, the research contribution and other extension activities. So they such colleges are the universities will be graded high. But even though in many of the states, so and some of the colleges not gone for the NIRF ranking system as well as the NAC accreditations. Okay. So this is the committee. So I don't need to explain about that. So okay, NEP composition will be for there are 4 parts in the NEP composition. So one is exclusively they are concentrating for the school education system, and the part 2 is exclusively for higher education system, and there are other areas focuses on, and even in the 4th also, so the making it happen. So these are the 4 parts the NEP compositions are there. Okay. So this is what we used to explain about the NEP always down comprehensive reforms that will impact every student. So that is very, very important. So maybe either that may be policy or whatever the regulation rules, whatever it may be. So we have to see, we have to check, we have to have a regular monitor how that will be impact on the students. So maybe, so this is the system how the 5+3+3+4, it will go up to the PhD level. So even in this PhD, and also the right from the teenage to first place schools to an ambitious master's degree leading to PhD. That is the one. So we have to concentrate. So from primary education and higher education level, and how much. So we have to prepare from in the foundation level only. We have to prepare them how to get a higher education system. And also, so what we have to see is the very important thing is for every children, we have to concentrate on them to, either even we are parents how we have to concentrate on the children is from the beginning from there, the first standard to we have to concentrate how best the children, that particular child will access the highest education. So getting a job, and that is a different issue. The thing is whether that particular child has got the highest education, that is very important, and acquiring the skill, that is very important. Even in the NAP also even in the degree level, even in the BCom, BBA, BBM education system, they have introduced the life skills. That is very important. Soft skills they introduced, and the skill oriented vocational, that is a very important. So thing is and even in future I will explain how the vocational education system has to be given importance, and the skills has to be given importance to the children. Okay, so this is the aims, the main aims of the school education. Yes, I think no need to repeat, but anyway, so just fastly I will explain about this. And also the behavior of the learner is very important. Yes, so even we people, we are also a teachers. So once they will come for a graduate, and many of the students, they doesn't know how to behave in the classes, even with their classmates, even sometime with the teachers, they don't know how to behave here. So that is very, so even in the school level, so that will help. Okay, and also they foster all-round the holistic development of the children's personality. This is very important stuff in the school level. So once that is included in the curriculum, the personality development courses are implemented, or compulsion on the personality development courses in the school level. So definitely that child will automatically, their child personality will develop, and also develop healthy attitudes and good values. This is also very, yes, many of the institutions are concentrating on this. Okay, so but the same thing we have to see even in the government education institutions. So if the values and the attitudes or the personality development curriculum is not included in the syllabus, they will not teach at all in the government schools. So that's why, so it has to be made compulsory to introduce the schools. Now in the new education system, they are doing it. Okay, since the education changes according to the changing needs of the society. Yes, so we have to see, we have to observe the society, we have to study the society. That we have to what we can do is we have to develop the education system accordingly, whatever the changes are there in the society. And also the education also vary from time to time in the same society. Yes, of course, we have to agree upon this. So because the society will always changes. Okay, so as the infrastructure facilities and other things or facilities are developed, and meanwhile the society attitudes will also change, and even the accessibility of the education is increased. So we can see the many drastical changes in the society also. So accordingly, we have to make the changes in the syllabus. The aims and objectives are not uniform for all stages of education. Yes, of course. So this is also will be there. And there are differences in aims and objectives of primary, secondary, and higher education due to variance of age, maturity, experience, physical, mental, and emotional growth of the child. So these are all the things we have to observe, and based on that, we have to make the syllabus. Okay, and also this is the one, literacy is the another objective of the school education. Yes, of course, even in the early education policies are also the literacy. they're given a more important to the literacy. So maybe the children should learn the first language. Yes, of course, they have to learn their language and mother tongue due to a level where he or she can communicate ideas easily. So once the education system is given in the mother languages and the mother tongue, definitely the child will easily understand. And also that is very important what we have to be noticed. So numeracy is very one where develop ability in 4 fundamental numerical operations and able to apply and those to solve the problems. So maybe maybe in the children's particularly in the student what we can, so all of a sudden if they get any problems they face many problems in they will not be able to solve those problems. So for that purposes this is also that we have to develop their ability. And technocracy is the one where the child should learn method of inquiry in science and should be to appreciate science and technologies. So maybe always, so the children, those who inquire the things. So sometime what happens in the school educations, the teachers normally what they will do is if any children keeps on asking the many questions, they will not respond properly, but that should not be. Yes, of course, we have to encourage them and we have to provide the methods how they can inquire and how they can learn the things through the science and technology. And nationalism is the one, another one. The objective of the school education is to the child should develop a respect of national symbols, maybe like flags and national anthem, and should be about the dislike and casteism, untouchability and communalism. All these things the children should know about that. And human dignity is the another objective of the school education. And you have already explained about this. The child should develop healthy attitudes towards human labor and dignity. So that is a one. And sanitary habits is the another objective of the school education, that the cleanliness and healthy living, understanding the proper sanitation, hygiene and self neighborhood is they have learned. So all these things are given importance in the NEP. And also the sense is also the another one. They should take what is going on in and around the children should be able to understand the surroundings happenings. So based on this, these things will be there. And also the universal access to education to all levels is also the, maybe for example, dropouts is the main problem. And even in particularly in the rural areas, we face dropouts. Okay, so the dropout rates are high in the rural areas and remote areas and hilly regions. And many in the hilly regions, if you see the population and their maybe in the tribes will be living in the hilly areas and all. So because they depend upon their livelihoods and they never concentrate for their children educations. But apart from that also we have to concentrate for the what we can say reduce the dropout system that is there in this. Okay, and this is the GR already I explained about the gross enrollment, increasing the gross enrollment ratio in the school education is very important. Okay, and also this is about the in 2000, this is the data of 17. So number of school children age group section 8 is the 3.2 crores. And okay, so this is the so what by this through NEP, so our government is targeting to achieve the 100% gross enrollment ratio in the preschool to secondary level by 2030. Let us see so whether it is possible or not. Maybe the curriculum and pedagogy in school education system learning should be holistic, integrated, that should be enjoyable and the engaging, restructuring the school curriculum and pedagogy in a new system like this. So maybe the 5+3+3+4 design. So this with the new system, so they have to integrate all those things and they have to see that whether these things are included. Okay, so this is the secondary education 9 to 12. Okay, so that this is very important. Earlier we had 10+2, but now one more year is and it occupies a very strategic position in the education pattern of the country. It is the link between primary education and the higher education. Okay, so even in we know that Dr. S. Radhakrishnan remarked in 1948 that itself our secondary education remains the weakest in our educational machinery and needs urgent reforms. So he what opined in 1948. So how, so where we are lack. So but I think this is the stage where through NEP, so we can build a strong foundation in the secondary education system. Okay, so this is a primary, and then so secondary education, afterwards they will move on to the higher education system. Okay, so these are all the aims of the secondary education system. So if you run through this to bring all around development among the learner, so that is one. So because what we can say, that is the turning point. So maybe the secondary education is the turning point for the children. So where either they have to go for science or commerce or arts, whatever it may be, whatever their wish. So that's why. So and also to train the young mass of the country to be a good citizens, will be competent to play their part effectively in the social and economic development of the country. So this is the age. So where we can do this, and also to promote social virtues and intellectual development and the practical skills among the students. So there are, so we are here, see, they are talking about the skill about the students, and also to train a character of the students to enable them to participate creatively as a citizens in the emerging social order. So that is the very important, and also the creativity skills. So even we talk about when we talk about the entrepreneurs in business, okay, the small businesses. So we always talk about the creativity, right? Innovations, right? So, but whereas here, so we have to give a more chance to the children about the creativity. So we have to encourage them to provide creative things, and also the another is to improve a practical and vocational efficiency of the students. So from that level itself, we have to build among them about the practical things, and also to develop a scientific attitude of the mind of thinking objectively. So okay, so that is the one, and the another is to include the qualities for necessarily for living harmoniously and efficiently with one's. So and also this is the one, universal human values, that's the one, and to develop a artistic and cultural interest, so which are essential for the self expression and development of all around the personality of the peoples. So this is where so in the secondary education, so we can, if we promote all those things, if we encourage among the students, definitely they will be contributing. Okay, so this is also will comprises of that we have already told, and also the stages will comprise of 4 years of multidisciplinary study. So building on the subject oriented pedagogy, curricular style of the middle stage, but with greater depth, okay, greater critical thinking and greater attention to a life aspirations and greater flexibility and student choice subjects. So this is the age where the students can learn. So and also in a particular, students would continue to have an option of existing after grade 10 and re-entering in the next phase to pursue vocational or any other courses available grade of 11, 12, including the more specialization in schools, if also decide. So we have to encourage them. Okay, so this is the holistic development of learners. Okay. Okay, so and also the reduce the curriculum content to enhance the essential and critical thinking. So because what we are observing in the present syllabus and the curriculum, so there will be a heavy load will be given to the students. So, but that should not be. So we have to. So that will be reduced in the each subject to its core essentials. We have to give and to make a space for critical thinking. That is the one. Activity oriented. You give the exercises, more and more exercises to the students, and the problem to solve the problems, more holistic and inquiry based, discovery based, discussion based. What we are having in the college GD, the group discussions will be there. No? So that we have to develop from the school level itself, and analysis based learning is very, very important. We have to concentrate. The mandated content will be focused on key concepts of ideas, okay, the applications and problem solving. So these are the one. And also in the teaching and learning will be conducted in more interactive manner. That is the one. Always what we see is one-way communication system will be there, but rather than that, the interactive session we have to follow. The questions will be encouraged, and classroom sessions will be regularly contained, and the creative, collaborative and exploratory activities for students for deeper and more experimental learning. So this is what I keep on repeating the same thing of this. So because experimental learning, yes, of course, exploratory activities for the students and creative collaboration is very important, and allow the students to question and interactive. So as the we have to always welcome the students to ask the questions. Okay, so this is the one. Holistic approach is the idea that natural system. So maybe the all these things, the chemical, social, economic, mental, linguistic, and etc. And there the properties should be viewed as a whole, not as a collection of the parts. So this often includes in the view system functions as whole, and that their functioning cannot be fully understood slowly in terms of their competent parts. So that is the one. So and also the term holism is derived from ancient Greek hols, meaning all, whole, entire, total. So this is so holistic is very important. Okay. Anyway, the empower students through flexibility in course choices. This is a very, very important. So where this is the stage where we can empower the students. Yes, of course. So we have to give a flexibility to the students to choose their courses. So in many of the maybe colleges, what we are doing is, so due to there may be expertise among the teachers, or I don't know, whatever it may be, the lack of availability of the teachers, but we impose to take the only the specialized subjects or particular subject. No, that should not be, because so we have to give a flexibility in the choices of the courses to the students. So even in here also in the school education, students will be given increased flexibility and choice of subjects to study, particularly in secondary schools, and including the subjects in the physical education, yes, of course, and arts and crafts and vocational skills, and so that they can design their own path and study their life plans also. So this is where very important. And yes, of course, so nowadays in the due to introduction of NEP, all these things are following in the schools and colleges. Okay, and also there will be no hard separation among curricular and extracurricular or co-curricular among arts, humanities, and science and vocational or academic. So we should not be differentiate among the subjects. Okay, so subjects such as physical education, arts, crafts, and vocational skills, in addition to science, humanities, and mathematics, will be incorporated throughout the school curriculum with a consideration of interesting the safe at the age, because early age we have to encourage the students. Okay, so this also covers, so maybe the NEP covers the service environment and culture and continuous professional development, okay, for the and career management progression, CMP, what we can call it, and professional standards for teachers. So in NEP, it is also covers, and special educators for the children with disability, approach to teacher education, and equitable and inclusive education. So means a learning for all. So that is the efficient resourcing and effective governance through school complexes and clusters, and standard setting and accreditation for the school educations. So this is what the regenerating the higher education. So that is will be with the NEP 2020. So even what we can say that, so maybe the education should be holistic and man-making, life-giving. So our Swami Vivekananda has said this, the life-giving character building. Education can unlock all doors for a progress. A nation advances in proportion to education and intelligence spread among the masses. So, okay, some of the major problems currently faced by the higher education system in India to include. So these are the problems we are associated. Maybe one thing is a severely fragmented higher education ecosystem. Yes, of course, we know. And the less emphasis on development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. So at present, we are also lacking the cognitive skills and learning outcomes. That's it. And a rigid separation of disciplines. Yes, of course, we know arts, commerce, science, like that. So with the early specialization and streaming of the students into narrow area of the study, okay, and limited access, particularly in socio-economically so disadvantaged area with higher education institutions that teach in local languages. Of course, this is also one. And once the students, the children is taught in the local languages, so once they come for the higher education, they may find difficulty in to learn in the other languages, and limited teachers and institutional autonomy will also be there. So maybe the even lack of maybe it's not the fault with the institutions. So maybe with the policy, and many of the teachers were not recruited. And some of the institutions were given autonomy. So once the autonomy is given, that is either way, that will be advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so whatever the curriculum syllabus they want to frame, they can frame. But once the recruitment processes comes, the autonomous institutions will also depend upon the government, because they have to fund. And also inadequate mechanisms for merit based. So that's on. And career management and progression of faculty and institutional leaders. So that is the another problem. And the lesser emphasis on research at most universities and colleges, and lack of competitive peer reviewed research funding across the disciplines. Yes, you know, this is the major problems we are facing. Many of them earlier, what we used to have 12B recognition. So if the once the colleges are need to be funded from the UGC and other national funding agencies, maybe ICSR and other universities, and so this is the many of the maybe the even in the in all the regions we cannot expect all colleges will be developed, and they are more research oriented, because the surroundings will also helps. The infrastructure facilities available in that college will also helps so for the research. So maybe even till today also we are in the NAP and online education and all. Many of the colleges, they are not having the computer facilities, what we can multimedia facilities and ICT. So they are facing many problems. So this is also one. And so this is the suboptimal governance and leadership of higher education institutions. That is the one. And ineffective regulatory system will also, that is the another problem we are facing. the large affiliating universities resulting in a low standards of undergraduate education. So nowadays due to the NEP implementation in the country, so every district is given one universities, but in the earlier, so many 4 or 5 districts were with the one university. Maybe for example, our Mysore University itself, the 4 districts were covered under the Mysore universities, and many undergraduate colleges were there. And sometimes it was very difficult to monitor through the college development cell and all other things. So these and also the policy visions include the following key changes in the current system. So okay, those are all the problems, but in this system, the NEP, they want to have the visions in the changes in the current system, moving towards a higher educational system. So where consisting of large, that is the one, okay, and multidisciplinary universities. They are concentrating on the multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one or near every district. So I already told about this. Okay, so this is what, so the policy visions they are having in what they want to change from this. So maybe, yes, of course, the new universities are coming up and new universities are established all over the country. Okay, all over the states, they accordingly the availability of their funds and all the universities are there starting, but they NEP 2020 mainly concentrates on these things. So because the multidisciplinary universities and colleges are, so that will focus and develop the skills among the students. Okay, so and also the more higher education institutions across in India that offer medium of instructions programs in local and Indian languages. So that's also the one because why these changes they want to bring in the education system is, so without knowing the language, without understanding what we teach in the class, okay, we can sometimes we can make English as a compulsory, Hindi as a compulsory, whatever it may be, whatever the things, but that whatever we teach in the class, so that must be reached to the students. No, it is very important aspects, right? So that should be reached to the students. So this is the one of the vision. So where we can changes, we want to bring it changes. So moving towards a more multidisciplinary undergraduate educations. Now what we are doing is only commerce is commerce. Even arts is arts, science is science, like that. But in NEP, it is not like that. So okay, so choice of subjects is also there. So and also the moving towards faculty and institutional autonomy. Yes, of course. So faculty exchanges and all institutional autonomy. So this is another one. And revamping curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and student support for enhanced student experiences. So all these things changes we want to see. And the integrity of faculty and institutional leadership positions through merit appointments and career progression based on teaching, research, and services. So these are the changes we want to see. And establishment of National Research Foundation to fund outstanding peer research to and to actively seed research in universities and colleges. Yes, of course. So we in the university level we have a RUSA system. So where they are funding for the research, and at the national level the UGC is funding, and ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, and the even the science is there. So other thing is there, but now if we have a separate research foundation where they can give the research fund and they sanction the research fund to the faculty, because in the newly recruited fresh faculties, what we can call it as young faculties, they require a fund to conduct a research in a new areas. Okay, so if they, yes, of course, even if your college wants to have a higher rank in the NARF or whatever it may be in the NAC or any other things, but the research assistance is also very important, no? So if we give a research assistance in the form of funds, so definitely the teachers will actively engaged and they will come up with a good research work in the colleges or university level. So that is what, and also the governance of higher education institutions by high qualified independent boards having academic and administrative autonomy. So that is very important. So if they want to have their own boards, independent boards, so the board members, the governing members should be highly qualified. Okay, and also they must have administrative quality. So that is one. But the regulation by a single regulator for higher education is very, very important. And so this is the another changes what they want to see is the increased access and equity and inclusion through a range of measures, and including the greater opportunities for outstanding public education and scholarship, providing the private or whatever the universities are disadvantaged and underprivileged students, and online education is of course open distance learning, what we can ODL, and all the infrastructure learning materials accessible and available to learn with the disabilities. So these are the, in this category they want to bring a changes. Okay, this is the one where the important sequence in higher education system, and now the vision to a strategic plan, we have to move to the governance policies to implementation, that is the one, and academic plans to physical infrastructure and quality assurance, whatever to accreditation or NRF and other rankings. Okay. So this is about the Indian scenario of the university systems. Okay. Any clarifications, doubts to be asked by the participants?
Sir, I have
Please,
two questions.
yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Myself, Dr. Siddharth Nagdive from Maharashtra.
Yeah, please.
Sir, my question, I have two questions. Well,
Yeah.
First question is about the teachers.
Yeah.
The majority of the highly potential teachers
Mm-hmm.
would attest to the fact that they don't get sufficient time
Yeah.
to plan and implement their ideas.
Yes.
The
Sure.
teacher face a lot of pressure
Yes.
from management, administration, and parents
Yeah.
for the completion of the courses.
Okay.
When you ask a teacher about the problem they face, you will get to the know how the time they get to is not enough for them to clear that. This is my first question.
Okay.
And second one is the political interference.
Yeah.
The bulk of the education establishment
Yeah.
are controlled by the government figure who perform a vital position in the regulatory bodies of the university.
Mm-hmm.
They use innocent students for their greedy reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The politicalization of
Yeah.
higher education is being a major obstacles
Yeah.
to the quality of higher education, sir.
Okay.
Nowadays, Indian higher education has become a trend, although political interference in academic institution is legally prohibited, sir. Many of other political parties influence educational institution. It seems to be one of the major challenges facing in Indian higher education, sir. I think, sir.
Okay. The first question is
about the teachers. They don't get sufficient time to cover the
whatever I know. I can
yes.
tell about that. See, of course, I too agree. Highly qualified teachers are there in the country. In all the states, so we are having, maybe they will not be given opportunity. That is the one. And due to the what we can say that those kind of things of problems might be solved in the NEP 2020. So because here what the present system is there, is the old system is there. So in that, the students has to go for the 3-4 combinations like that. But in the NEP 2020, what happens? The particular students will be trained in a narrow, maybe in one subject. Or another thing, what we can say that along with the main subject, he can study for the multidisciplinary subjects. We can also, yeah, of course, we have a CBCS system in the country, choice-based credit system. It is there. In that choice-based credit system, what we are doing is we ask the students to earn either 4 or 8 credits. Either it may be from MOOCs or the open elective within the institution or the universities or the within the college, wherever it is available, right? But whereas in NEP, it is not like that. Okay, so what the combination is there? So the 4 years honors, yeah, I do agree. The honors were there in many other states, and even in agriculture universities, they have already, it is apart from the NEP, they have a honors degree. But in the traditional universities, in the commerce educations and science arts education system, so 4-year honors bachelor degree might help them. And after 4 years honors, they can shift directly to the research. But your question is how the qualified teachers can get the time, right, sir? To assist the
Yes, sir.
students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, of course, definitely.
They have a lot of pressure from
Yeah.
the management,
Yes.
the administration, the
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah, definitely. In the maybe you are from private college or what, sir? University?
Private college, sir. Private
That's
college.
what.
Yes.
So
yes.
maybe in many of the private colleges, this pressure will be there, and what qualified teachers will not be given opportunities, sir. We know. But in the government colleges and the university level, the flexibility is there. Autonomy is there for the teachers. Yes. So they can go for the, so maybe, for example, I know in the many of the what we can say that the government, the private colleges, they insist the particular teachers to work for particular hours and certain hours like that. And they will not be allowed to go for the, maybe for faculty development programs too. I am right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's what, but the government has to, it is there, sir. The rules and regulation are there. Yes. So the faculty may be a government or the private colleges, but rules is same, because they are getting the affiliation from the government, and they get all the facilities, funds from the government. Yes, they are, and also they are mandated to implement the rules and regulations. And maybe, for example, for promotions, I hope. So many of them, they will not give promotions, because if they give promotions, they have to give higher salary, right? So these many problems are there. So maybe such kind of problems might solve by implementing the NEP. Hope you got my, you got, no, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So maybe the another thing is the question number 2, what you asked about the political parties will interfere.
Yes,
of course, in all the states in the entire country, the political parties will involve, but the involvement will not be too much, right? That should not, there will be some limitations. So they cannot cross the limitations. So because if the political parties involves in the higher education system, even if they implement the whole and soul of NEP 2020, they cannot bring the quality education. Okay, so the government has to think about that, and I hope they will not interfere, because the policy is there. According to the policy, we have to work, and whatever is the policy is there, we have to implement it in the colleges, right? Okay, to pass that bill and all the policy, till then the government will involve, the political parties will also involve, and they will think about everything, and the good, bad, everything they will think. Based on that, they will take the decision. Once that act is passed or the policy is implemented, so then I think there is no question of involvement in the political parties. Okay, so maybe they may involve in the releasing of the funds and all other things, but whereas the imparting the education and the improving the quality of the students will be with the hands of the teachers only. So we are doing that. Okay. So any clarifications?
Sir, yes, sir. I have one, sir.
Training is okay,
Yeah,
but I have a small point to supplement with you.
yeah, please.
We
You're
are
most
bringing
welcome.
out policy and we want to establish, we want to bring up, we want to give quality education,
Yeah,
maybe skill oriented education, all that.
yeah.
It is all the more important that we need to prepare the infrastructure.
Yeah, that's what even
That is the major hurdle and that is the major problem. Even in Tamil Nadu, some of the rural colleges, they face a lot of difficulty.
Yeah.
Even the internet connectivity is a big challenge, sir.
Yes, of course. See, it is there in all the states. In all the states, we have a problem, because that's what we are telling. Policy is good, but by suppose if you want to implement this NEP 2020, we require more teachers, right? Because multidisciplinary specialization, skills-oriented courses will be implemented, right? And also, what you said is right, the infrastructure. So infrastructure is building, of course, building is required, and IT is very, very important. The multimedia classes are important, internet facilities is important, right? Many other facilities are required. Yes, even in rural area, I too agree with that. With the help of the government only, we have to develop all those infrastructure facilities. Okay.
So this is Gautam from Assam.
Yeah, please, Gautam, tell me.
Okay, sir. I have one query about, no doubt in Assam, there is NEP in process. This year will be welcoming. So we need all of your blessing.
Okay.
But my question is that, sir, do you think that NEP will be beneficial for the rural area with special reference to Assam? What is your take on this?
Actually, I am from Karnataka. Okay, but
Yes, sir.
whatever may be, if you see the present education system, some liberty is given to the students. Okay,
Yes,
means
sir.
what we can say, that the freedom, autonomy is given to the student. So in the maybe in the next slides I may explain. Even though you asked the question, I will tell you, because in earlier education system, undergraduate will be for 3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but in the NEP it will be for 4 years.
4
so
years,
we
4
call
years,
it as honors, BA honors, BCom honors, BSc honors, right? So there will be a option for the students. So where you suppose if you want to quit soon after 1 year, if you want to quit the system, he will be given certificate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So second year diploma, third year diploma, if you want to quit. And once if you complete the 3 years, you will be given a bachelor degree. Suppose if you want to continue for 1 more year, he will be awarded a BA, BSc, BCom honors. And there is a 1 more chance for the students. So where they can join for the directly for the research, PhD.
After completion of 4 years, they can directly join to PhD.
After for completion of honors, BA honors, BCom honors, BSc honors, means that must be 4 years degree.
Sir, in
so
that context,
NEP, this option is given. Okay.
Okay.
And in the earlier education system, master degree we used to study only 2 years.
Yeah.
But now there is an option. So the students were undergone 4 years master degree, means honors. He can join master degree for 1 year only.
Okay.
So that is the option. Wherever it may be, maybe country, sorry, state like Assam, that's the only reason and all. Definitely, what I have observed and what I have studied from the many research papers, there may be a dropout, even in the undergraduate level also. So
yes,
once
yes,
they quit, they go with the certificates. Means the certificate must be skill oriented. That's what the concern of the NEP.
Sir, here I have another query, sir.
NEP will help.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have another query.
Okay.
So, if someone gets 4 years, like a BA with honors, 4 years course in college, so what will be the role for the university? Of course, student will get a chance for research work, but in that time, whether there will be a course for like MCOM, MBA, and something like that.
Yeah. The same thing will be continued. MCOM, MBA, the courses will be continued, but there will be 2 years and 1 year.
Okay.
2 years as usual and 1 year MBA. But those who have joined completed 4 years, they can directly join for 1 year MCOM or MBA.
Okay.
The basics you will study at the 4th year in the undergraduate level.
So, sir, whether the before completion of MCOM or MBA, they can go for PhD or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I am telling. That is the option is given in NEP, BSc honors, BCom honors, BBA honors. So 4 years, in the 4th year, the students will be given chance to learn about the basic things of the research. Okay. So that will be easy for them go for the PhD.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Flexibility and many opportunities are there. So once you what we can say that people will talk many things about NEP, whatever it may be, but you study in depth of NEP, then only you will come to know there are many advantages to the students and even the colleges and all. Okay. Any more questions, please?
Sir, industry, sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Industry facing a big problem
to
find a suitable employee to directly working in the industry, sir. As our education system is provided such types of education, they find a very big problem to suitable employees for them.
Yeah, that's what.
That practical approach is not available there.
Yeah, that's what. Due to even in the previous education policy, there was no practical ability. We used to have only dissertation, project work, internship like that. But now it is not like that. Even in the NEP implementation, even in the 2nd year onwards, 2nd year means the 3rd semester onwards, the life skills, the skill oriented, vocational oriented, communication skills, all these skills oriented subjects will be introduced. So, and what we can do is we build the students and whatever the requirement is there in the industry, even in the college level only. Okay, so that this curriculum will be useful for the students, and also the industry will also observe the students, those who have studied under NEP system, BSc honors or BCom, BBA, whatever that. Definitely. Because in Karnataka, we have implemented NEP successfully. We are running it. And also the skill oriented courses, we are implemented it in the, it is compulsory to acquire the degree. So definitely the students will learn that, and industry will also come forward to recruit our students. Okay. Any more questions? Otherwise, I'll give a break and then we'll rejoin after some time. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think you are getting my points.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.